What's up, everybody? My name is Kason. Welcome back to the WDL. This is the Season 3, Week 5 Heindler video, and we've got some awesome fights for you guys this week. JB79 of the Paranoid Androids with 12 points going into Week 5, an undefeated record to this point in his rookie season in the WDL is very impressive. Two Season 1 veterans, not hot on his tail though, Turambar of the Ferrets with 9, and Spike of Bebop's crew as well. Three teams right behind with 7 points in a three-way tie: Unhindered of Ignite the Storm, LucianRamz of Lone Shadow, and Maverick of the Spaghetti Western. If you guys don't know, top 5 teams make the playoffs, so it's very interesting to see which 5 will sit at the top by the end of the season. CrimsonLyse of Triumphant, Trailblazers, and Colgate of Fwendship, both with 6 points, so hot on their tails, as Arrow 404 with Ashes to Crashes in 9th with 3 points, and Dezaire of Team Big Mouth. Can they finally get on the board here in this Week 5? We'll have to find out, guys. We've got some awesome best of 3s for you. Let's check them out. Game 1 of this Heindler Division series, we've got JB79 of the Paranoid Androids on the right side of the screen here with his patented Double Fire Magic Squad, Double Fire Magic Glove Squad with the Marial as the tank, as Kefka's going to do the AoE buff and Chi Barrier coming off on Revelka. And looking at the other side, LucianRamz going with an interesting comp, something we haven't seen before, I don't think. Ayaka, Dario, and Renan, so a lot of magic power coming up from the other side. Renan is an absolute beast at 90 cost in our format. Can he get something done against this magic tank of Marial, though? We'll have to see. She goes with the Mind Crusher right away, getting about 2,000 damage off on the Dario. Looks like Barrier going to be channeled on Renan, and this is Time Mage sub Ayaka getting the guard haste onto Dario. She should be hasting up somebody else on this very next turn, as I just can't believe it comes up from Kefka, and he is going to get his re-raise with the CT up on re-raise online. Dario, what does he have in return? Draining Seal, 1176, but he's got some healing power up, giving himself even more health back. Deflagration Blast coming off from Revelka, who's been an absolute beast this season, gets a good chunk onto the Dario, but there's a healer in the back, and 2 units hasted up for LucianRamz. Looking not so bad here. Level 4 Banishka is going to hit the backline healer, but she should be able to just heal up her and Dario to full. This is going to be a channeled spell coming up from Renan, though. What is it going to be, as the Dario is going to go way up onto the mountain here? And with that height range, can Ayaka actually reach for a heal? I'm actually not sure if she can cover that. We'll have to find out. She might even just be going for a haste on herself here. She's going to do that. I think he's below the threshold for healing, but I think he's too high up, as Deflagration Blast is going to hit the backline Ayaka. This height thing from Dario is not really working out, I think, from LucianRamz, but the CT up on Renan, so it looks like he's using that brand new wizard staff from the legendary reliquaries that gives him CT up when he's below a certain health threshold. Banishka going to hit the Dario, and now with all this damage spread out, if Dario moves down, which he does right here, Ayaka should be able to find a limit break on all 3, and now this is looking slightly better for LucianRamz. Dario has plenty of hate at this point. Ruinja, oh wow, coming out from the Renan. I think that is the Skahal VC ability. That is something you don't see very often. If you're trying to get some non-elemental damage, that is a great tech. Ball Lightning plus kills the Revelka, and LucianRamz is looking so good right now. Can he pick up the first game win against JB79, who's undefeated on this season? Light of Judgment plus is going to take out the healer. Kefka says not so fast, but the Vital Spark reaction heal comes out from Renan. We have seen an insane amount of reactions come off this week already, and here is another vital one, pun intended. Oh my god, he gets a second one. He gets a second heal. I think he would have been dead or very close to it. Unavailable Pain finds the Kefka. It's going to proc his re-raise, but we've seen before, I don't think Kefka has the damage to one-shot this Renan, and if he gets this damage off, hold on a second. He could land a Confusion, though, which means Renan can only do an auto attack, cannot use an ability. If the Confusion lands, it's going to land. He gets the Vital Spark, though. Oh my god, I'm looking at this positioning, though. I don't think he can get in range. He is too height below him, and he can't step down because Dario is in the way. His dead friend is in the way, and height-based fire goes off, and Kefka wins it. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god, the Vital Sparks on repeat for Renan. I'm literally getting to the point where I'm starting to think this map is bugged with reactions. It is absolutely nuts, but JB79 wins it regardless. G friggin' G. I'm not gonna lie, guys, casting the first 4 weeks was fun, but week 5 is just built different, as JB79 is running that double fire squad with the Mariel tank again, seeing if he can pull off another win here. And looking at the other side, it looks like we've got Ayaka, Dario, Renan, so both teams opting for the same compositions. Can LucianRamz pull it off this time? The height range of not being able to have Renan walk down ended up killing him. We'll have to see. The Sweetheart Ildira TMR coming off on Mariel, getting that Unitech resist and the movement. Draining Seal for Dario, so he's got plenty of hate to this point. Is Renan in range to deal damage right out of the gate, though? Yes, he is. Fulgurous Thunderblast. So this time he does not get his barrier online, and that could end up being massive, as he will not soak damage up quite as well. He does get his Spirit Piercing rate up, though, which could be good for him. Here comes Kefka, though. Here's the limit break on both Dario and Renan, and if he lands this confusion, I think this could be over before it starts. 6,000 damage out of the Renan, a little bit less on the Dario, but the double confuse is huge. This should be a limit break from Ayaka, and best thing for LucianRamz is if Dario breaks the confusion onto Renan, but he doesn't. He goes to the back, and he doesn't break it. He goes to Ayaka, but Deflagration Blast takes care of it anyway, so I take it back. It wouldn't have mattered regardless. Ayaka's going to go with the Kiriga. This does not cure confusion, though. It cures stop, I believe. Mind Crusher comes out, a good chunk of damage onto the Ayaka, and to have a chance for LucianRamz, Dario needs to walk forward and get out of the way. He's just going to stand there, though. Ayaka needs to get a full life off, but she's not going to get an opportunity. Forsaken removes haste and removes Ayaka's from the battlefield, and on this beach, it is now a 3v1. Dario is up against it, and Mariel, can she seal the kill here with a level 4 Banish Cut? Not quite, but Dario is a good boy. But he's not good enough to pull off a 3v1 here. Get some AoE damage, get some hate up, and Kefka says, yes, I do hate you. Here is a kill. This is a 2-0 victory for JB79 and the Paranoid Androids. Game 2, not quite as close as Game 1, but regardless, a very awesome series to start the day. Game number 1 here, guys. We've got Dezaire's team, Big Mouth, versus Turambar's, the Fire Ferrets. A couple of green teams going up against each other. And it looks like Dezaire is running a Nasha, Oldoa, and Rissal team. I can never remember her name for some reason, but it looks like she's got a remove re-raise on her kit here, as it looks like a double gunner plus time mage squad coming out from Turambar. So Jaden, Lucia, and Shell. The King Bradley TMR going on to Jaden. It looks like Shell is going to be responsible for hasting and quickening Lucia down on the ground. So this will be interesting to see how it works, and really the whole thing is, can they kill these units before they close the gap? Because they do a ton of damage, but they are squishy. Sharpshooting stance coming up from Lucia. You really want to try and get this off to make sure she is utilized to her full capacity. As Immortal Spirit comes out from Nasha with 11.6k health, she should tank up a few hits, including that Courage. Magiblast Plus is going to hit the Oldoa, so she takes quite a bit of damage here. She is a Drain Force user if she can get into range, but will she even find that opportunity? That is the question. Nasha with some hate might end up soaking hits later. This could actually work out for Dezaire, potentially. We'll have to see, though. Words of Self-Preservation come up. Protect and Shell onto the Rissal. Very good tech, and it looks like there is actually no haste coming up from Turambar. It's just quicken. So 4569 coming up from the Lucia. I believe that was a sharpshoot. Magiblast Plus going on to the Nasha is a ton of damage. I think that might have procced Courage. I couldn't quite see. If it's not Courage, that's huge, because if she has barely any health, that means she still lives another hit. That could be massive. Is Oldoa going to be able to find Jaden here? Can she either Drain Force or find a kill? AP Blunder is a ton of damage. That is a kill onto Jaden, and this is looking very good for Team Big Mouth right out of the gate. Dezaire not yet on the board with any points here, and Turambar currently in second place. He's trying to find a Game 1 victory. It did proc the Courage before. Sharpshoot comes off, kills the Nasha. It is now down to a 2v2, and can this Lucia kill these units before they close the gap? This is a limit break, Edge of the Void. I know this is hitting Shell. Is it also hitting Lucia? I'm not entirely sure here. It is. It's a blind on both, meaning Lucia is probably going to have to use Sharpshoot to even land any damage. And this is looking very good for Team Big Mouth in Game 1. The King Bradley TMR refresh from Oldoa, so she's going to be hasted up again. And what does Shell have in store? And when does the cast time go off? It's a quicken, but the timing doesn't work well as Lucia was just about to take her turn. Sharpshoot's going to land on Oldoa, so is now a 2v1, but I think Lucia would have had to get a Sharpshoot and then get quicken to have a chance here. I think Rizal has the range. Yes, she does. Finds the double kill, and that is the first point on the board for Dezaire and Team Big Mouth. Congratulations. After the game 1 upset, how do the Fire Ferrets respond here? It looks like Alphonse, Edward, and Maverick, the El Clasico, coming out from the Fire Ferrets with the double Full Metal Alchemist team and the full strike composition. So it looks like that AoE resist buff coming out from Edward, Keen Blade coming out from Alphonse, and this should be a Focus Fist buff. It is, and this is the kind of pretty traditional starting turn rotation coming out from Turambar here. Looks like the same team composition coming out from Team Big Mouth as Web of Deceit comes off on turn 1. Is this the Bradley TMR again? Yes, it is. So this looks like pretty much the exact same initial setup from the first game. Automail's Crux comes out from Edward, and he actually takes his second turn before Nasha even acts, thanks to that Keen Blade. The agility difference must be pretty substantial. So Expertise of the Alchemist comes out on turn 2 for Alphonse. He's ready to go tank up some damage. And what does Nasha have for us? She goes Taunting Blade, so barely any damage, but she does get Hate up, which could be pretty crucial. Terra Slash comes out from the Maverick, as her ranges are pretty non-existent, so she cannot find damage on the tank. She only finds it on Oldoa, but she's going to Drain Force up, so she's actually almost to full health here. As Rizal, what does she go for here? She's already used her Web of Deceit, but she's going to find damage. This should be an AoE on both Maverick and Alphonse. This did a good chunk of damage in game 1, but Alphonse is a lot tankier, so not that much damage on either, but it does find the blind, which means they might have to use guaranteed hits to find damage here. Armored Flash Kick lands for only 600 damage, but he does heal himself a ton. This ability is so absurd for keeping him healthy, as Full Metal Rage comes out from Edward, so an absolute bananas limit break. This is going to debuff defense a ton. 7,300 damage, finds the kill on Oldoa, and this is still looking pretty good for the Fire Ferrets, even considering the blind. Surge Strike is a guaranteed hit, and there is no shortage of guaranteed hits on this Fire Ferrets team. Rizal needs to find a ton of damage here, I think, pretty much on the entire party. I'm not sure she's going to be able to do it. She's got 31 AP. What does she have here? Lies and Betrayal. Dropping that slash attack resist, healing herself up a nice little chunk, but is it going to be enough? I don't think so. Nasha's got 0 AP. She gathers about 14 there just with a standard attack, but Adamantine Pillar Transformation is a ton of damage coming out from Edward, and the Fire Ferrets, after the game 1 loss, respond incredibly well in game 2. Stone Enclosure, I don't imagine this will finish off Nasha, as it actually misses the second hit due to that blind, but Maverick should be able to chain up a little bit. Pummel will add 2 more hits to that chain, and Alphonse with 41 AP, Armored Flash Kick will seal the deal, and that is a game 2 victory for Turambar. Game number 3, does Turambar pull off the reverse sweep, or does Dezaire pick up their first series win? We'll have to find out here. Dezaire's switching up the team comp, double ice, going with the Zoma, Rafael, and Liarte. We've seen Liarte put in some work before with Poison against Alphonse in an earlier series in the Rundal division. Can she do something similar here? So Keenblade coming out from the Alphonse after that AoE buff from Edward. Again, we've seen it before. This should be Focus Fists. No, it's Aurora of Blessings. Interesting. So expecting either maybe a light or dark composition from Dezaire. Maybe a little bit of a bluff here based on maybe Liarte being the first unit in the party. I'm not entirely sure. Oblivion's Presence coming out from Zoma, though, to get Bravery down if they land it. That could actually be a really smart move, as this is an entirely physical team coming out from the Fire Ferrets. Automail's Crux online, though, which means Edward is online. This buff is absolutely bananas, makes him so incredibly strong, and same with Expertise of the Alchemist. These 2 units are ready to go. Focus Fist does come online this time here, so she gets it actually closer to when the fight starts. This might even be better for them. So what does Rafael go for? She's got a lot of range. Dispel Spread, 997, and that is going to remove buffs, which means a lot of those buffs coming out from Expertise of the Alchemist and all that stuff are going to disappear. The Pissarro TMR, so the fellow Dragon Quest user TMR coming off on the Zoma here, double hasted up units. And what does Liarte go for? Can she find a poison? No, she's actually channeling a spell. This tells me that it is probably a charm charge as she reflexes the wall breaker. Reflexes happen so many times, crucially, throughout this season, or through this week, excuse me, as Stone Enclosure comes out from the Alphons. Does this land a one-hit kill? I don't imagine it does. She barely hangs on. This reflex could be massive if Marilu can't find damage, which I don't think she can. Basically, all of her abilities are straight line skill shots, and yeah, she's just going to focus fists on the party. Does this charm land? It does not. It's only 422. That was a little bit anticlimactic, but it does drop the bravery, which can be important. And here comes Rafael. Can she find damage on the party? Her and Zoma are going to go back to back. If they can find a couple of big AoEs, this may not be over. They have the elemental advantage on Edward, but unfortunately Heavenly Wrath only hits the 2 lightning units. But Mariluk certainly could drop here from Zoma if he finds a big AoE, and he's going to do just that. He's going to go Glacial Doom, go for the limit break. Zoma, a unit we've only seen used by Machen X here. Desire's going to try and summon him here. That is so much damage on the entire party. That is a kill on Mariluk. Alphonse is very low. Edward is half health. And could this be the upset? Edward is going to go next. He's going to find Adamantine Pillar. It's enough to kill Liarte, not enough to kill Rafael. And this haste is massive. Zoma's going to get to go next. Can he find the back-to-back? Can he find a double kill here? No, he just finds a standard attack. I think maybe the dead body or the tree, something in the way. He can't find an AoE here. I don't know, maybe he doesn't have the diamond, but Armor Cleaver comes out from Rafael. It is not enough to kill, but this haste is absolutely crazy. Zoma is going to go again for a 3rd time, finds the standard attack kill, and wouldn't you know it, Dezaire and Team Big Mouth pull off the upset against Turambar and the Fire Ferrets. Very, very well played. Next up to bat, we've got Error 404, Coach of Ashes to Crashes versus CrimsonLyse, Coach of Triumphant Trailblazers, who's been on a little bit of a hot streak here. Spell of Fortification coming out from Halloween Lucia. So this is a Halloween Lucia, Velis, and Uni composition versus Yuffie, Balo, and Oberon Heindler. Silver Wolf's Grace, the Flagbearer Glassy team are coming out from Yuffie, so protect on the entire team as a double hasted up team on the other side. Keenblade coming out from Oberon, getting that CT on the party. This is really going to help with Balo as he is slow as molasses, but he's going to try and move across the screen with Heart Aflutter. Couldn't track whether that was 3 or 4 movement, whether he's running Bowtie, we'll have to see. Uni's going to pop Ziza Bells to try and get AP online, so he should have plenty for the rest of this fight, as Brumal Form on turn 2 from Yuffie is going to nullify guaranteed hits. Halloween Lucia with attritional protection is not the most accurate unit in the game. She just has guaranteed hits, and that is how she gets around things. So can she deal damage to somebody like this Yuffie? 8-Path Dragonshine, though, does not break physical barriers. Will this do any damage at all? It will not. That 7,500 health shield is absolutely massive. Curious to see how much there is left of it, as Ice Blessing goes off from Velas and Grace of Eternal Friendship. He is very bulky here. He has a 3-hit shield from the Black Rose Helena TMR and Protect and Shell, a very nice tech from CrimsonLyse. Arcane Assimilation comes out from Halloween Lucia. This should do 2,800 it looks like, and the follow-up only 16. I will say, Balo, well done, my guy. That is a good job tanking, because Halloween Lucia is an absolute beast. Punishing Slow Arrow comes out for just a little bit of chip onto the Oberon. And what does Balo have in store? Just a standard attack. Not enough to break the barrier. Level 4 Blazaga, 5,100 damage is going to seal Balo's fate, though, and CrimsonLyse out to a 3v2 lead. But the main carry of the team, Yuffie, is still fully healthy. Bloodbath coming out. How much damage does this do? This should get through the barrier. It doesn't. Oh my god, that is astounding. 2 limit breaks and now Subjugating Spear. Between those 3 abilities and a Balo standard attack only doing 1,300, that is absolutely crazy. As Unhappy Ending gives Oberon just that, he is down for the count, and CrimsonLyse out to a 3v1 lead. Sharpshoot actually hits the barrier. So Uni actually connected. Is this a hyper accurate build, or did the guaranteed hit nullification go away? I don't think it did. This Uni might just be really damn accurate. Yuffie coming out with the Blinding Trinity, though, is going to remove buffs on both of those units, and this is not over until we see the accuracy from Halloween Lucia. what is it? Steel Heart. Oh my god, I didn't even realize she had that in her kit. That is an insane tech by CrimsonLyse. Well freaking played, my dude. Sub-Zero is going to come out. It's going to miss, but it's really not going to matter. Yuffie's not going to try and hit the other team. This is going to literally just eat through her guaranteed hit nullification turns. And eventually, this hyper-accurate uni with the punishing slow arrow is just going to hit regardless. Unhappy ending. There it comes again. And this is just a very well-played game by CrimsonLyse and the Triumphant Trailblazers. Game 2 here after the Triumphant Trailblazers looked very impressive in the first one. And here comes the Velis, Reagan, and Uni composition. And I will say, Velis has been pretty unimpressive in the first 2 seasons, but there are a couple of players making him look very good this season now with his reduced to 90 cost. He's been looking very, very good, and CrimsonLyse is using him to a tremendous success. You'll love to see it as a unit who really didn't see much play in the first 2 seasons. So a couple of buffs going off here. Ice Blessing with Protect and Shell from the Velis. Uni not going to pop bells this time, just going to run right in and do a punishing slow arrow to the Belo. So I will say this looks a little better for Arrow 404, as Uni does not have any sort of AP and was actually kind of a hard carry last fight. Keenblade coming out from the Belo though, going to get that CT up. And what can Yuffie go for? She did not use her guaranteed hit nullification. She's just going to go for Blinding Trinity and get a chain damage here onto the Uni. Protecting the Light of the Future coming out from Reagan though, so he's going to have Courage as well as a number of buffs. That buff is just absolutely insanity. Burning Drive though for 6,400 with the elemental advantage. Dropping healing power also means that Reagan will not be full health here, but this should be a snow healing which will top him up. That AoE catches both him and Uni. Very, very impressive. Blinding Trinity though, a nice little chain started. Will Hio be able to follow up on that? Looks like Reagan's going to act before him actually. As punishing slow arrow, this Uni is just going absolutely nuts from CrimsonLyse. I am so impressed with his damage. 3,700 from the Belo. And Reagan's going to get to go next. Surge Strike is a guaranteed hit. And again, without that Brumal form, it just does not matter. Yuffie goes down. This is now down to a 2v3. Gloomblade makes it... No, I'm sorry, it does not make it a 2v2, as there is still Courage online for Reagan. Velis should be able to heal him a decent amount. That healing power down, obviously making a difference. Heal without an AP, though, is not enough of a damage dealer to seal this kill. Man, oh man, Sonic Octostrike Blade from Reagan should still do a decent chunk, even with the elemental disadvantage. It does about 4k here. But this is looking pretty rough. Punishing slow arrow onto the Belo, so if he didn't have low enough movement already, it's even lower to this point. Velis should go for another snow healing. And man, oh man, this team is just so hard to get through if you don't have units to chain up against each other. Between Reagan's self-heal, Velis's heals, and the Courage and all that, it is tough, but Hio is giving them a run for their money. That is a massive AoE. Surge Strike comes out from Reagan, and there's Courage on Belo. Is there any more heals from Velis? Height-based cure, so there's no more snow healing. And hold on a second, guys. This might not be over. If Hio is able to get another AoE off, the problem is I don't know if he has enough AP. I think he burnt it all last time as the height-based cure comes out from Velis. What does he have for AP? It's only 9. Can he land a kill on somebody? It's not enough on the Velis, and I think that's probably all she wrote. Azure Blade Strike doing a good chunk of damage, dropping the agility, and does Uni claim the kill? Yes, he does. He was kind of the MVP of this fight, I'm not going to lie. He looked very impressive, and that is a 2-for-0 series win by the Triumphant Trailblazers. Well played to both sides. Game 1 of Team Fwendship versus Ignite the Storm, and it looks like Unhindered is running a Joom, Little Leela, and More the Merrier composition. So a couple of tanks here, along with More the Merrier as a damage dealer in the back, probably because that is a King Bradley sighting on the other side here. Looks like Helena Leonis, Elda Leonis, so Mom and Pop plus the King. We've seen this before coming out from Fwendship. We'll have to see how this goes. So Elda going to pop a Leonis barrier, going to get hate on himself, along with a 3-hit shield. And he is going to start walking forward. What is Helena channeling here, though? It is a guard haste on herself. So this is Time Mage Helena. She does not have White Mage in her kit at the moment. And a Quicken from the More the Merrier. So having Time Mage on herself, interesting to try and get that tank up front. I think she is actually running Bowtie, which might be part of the reason to run the Quicken to try and get her up forward even with that. Calculated Ren, though, absolutely destroys Little Leela. King Bradley is a perfectly balanced unit. Aaron Sizer comes out from Joom, not really doing all that much to the tanky Elda, and Meridian Channel doing 8,900 to the Bradley, going to give herself some AP restore as well, but Bradley eats CT for breakfast. He is going to basically go very, very quickly again with 43 AP. He's going to do Assault Blade, does just a little bit over half of the damage to the More the Merrier. Elda's going to follow up with a Void Piercer on a Joom, and there's basically two different fights going on at the same time. And Elda's going to sit here and think a little bit. And what is he going to go for? And it turns out this is a DC, guys. I did know this was going to happen. I just wanted to show you this just so that everybody was aware. I was told that Colgate actually decided to forfeit this first game. This actually looked like a could go either way kind of fight, but Colgate, because he was the one who DC'd, decided to give the game 1 victory to Unhindered. There are a few different choices we can go through when this happens, but this is what I was told was the decided result, and both players were okay with it. So we are just going to head straight into game 2. All right, heading into game number 2, guys, and I promise you this will be played in all the way through this time. So here comes Colgate's team. It looks like the exact same team composition as last time. Unhindered going with a switch up, though. It looks like a Roy Mustang, Joom, and Sosha squad. So the Roy is the main damage dealer instead of More the Merrier, and it looks like because Little Leela really didn't tank that well last time, a couple of other adjustments here. So I think that was a Stormwind Ren coming out from Joom, the Bar Aurora ability coming out from Mama Leonis, and Big Daddy Leonis going to go with the Void Piercer, 1,300 damage on a Joom, and that is kind of a wet noodle fight over there. But here comes Sosha with a Sharpshoot, adding about 2,000 extra damage onto there. What can Roy do? He's just going to go Fuel to the Fire, so giving himself that barrier as well as some damage up. And here comes Helena. Is this still Time Mage support? Is this a guard haste like last time? Shadow Dance from the King Bradley going to give himself some AP restore, as well as I think it does give him a barrier. He's also hasted up. So he literally says, like Lightning McQueen, I am speed. And we are probably going to see that the rest of the fight. Flame Cell comes out from Roy Mustang, though, landing the kill onto Elda Leonis. He's going to drop. And King Bradley with Kingpin's Cackle, the Zazan the Unkillable TMR. There is basically no way to resist this guy anymore except for AoE and unit, because now he penetrates Earth resistance as well. Sharpshoot comes out from the Sosha, just doing about 1,400 damage, but here's the Quicken, and this is the Super Bradley tech, Super Saiyan Bradley. Here we go. Calculated Rend on the entire party, and that is over for Unhindered here. Joom is a good unit, but I think, especially with the Earth Pen, I don't think she stands a chance. This guy is just absolutely bananas. Here comes another Calculated Rend for almost 5k damage, and this dude eats his Wheaties every single morning, you can tell. Here's the Bar Aurora again, so giving more wind resist to the party to try and skew this matchup. Only 5 AP on the Joom. She's just going to standard attack Helena with her lightsaber here. An Assault Blade should do it. That is going to take out the Joom, and that is a Game 2 victory for Colgate and Fwendship. All right, guys, Game 3 for all the marbles, and it looks like Unhindered is running the same composition that he brought for Game 1, and Colgate is running the same comp that he brought for Game 1. So positional changes, but otherwise, this is basically a remake of that first game, so we do get to see it in its entirety. So I'm looking forward to this. Vacuum Veil comes out from Joom. Bar Aurora comes out from Helena Leonis, giving some elemental resistances as well as some defense up. And More the Merrier, what does she have here? Padfoot, Pissarro TMR with Hate Down and Haste. And here comes Elda Leonis, I imagine popping his Limit Break, Leonis Barrier. Imagine your Limit Break is physical, or is a 3-hit shield and hate. This is an old unit, but he's an oldie but a goodie. We'll have to see what he can do here. Little Leela going to go with Mind Fortress, Magic Shield, 5 hits. Isn't really going to matter against the other squad, as this is basically just physical damage on the other side. But that life and longevity buff coming out from More the Merrier could prove to be crucial, as another Bar Aurora refresh for her hubby on the other side. This should be interesting. King Bradley, does he get to be hasted up? Not yet. Calculated Ren not nearly doing as much damage as last time. You can tell that Kingpin's Cackle buff really putting in work last time, as the Storm and Ren comes out, drops the agility, And also dropping those reaction blocks could be pretty massive for King Bradley, as he does really like to get those reactions down. And poison from More the Merrier could prove to be pretty huge here. If he lands to Courage, it will go through Courage. I don't think this is going to do enough, though. It's just 1,000. He finds the AoE for some damage, but this is going to be interesting down to the wire here. Helena, what does she go for? It's Guard Haste. Again, she doesn't have White Mage sub on. She has Time Mage. And here's the Knight's Blessing tech from Little Leela. An excellent TMR usage coming out from Unhindered. Air Incisor from Joom is going to drop the unit attack resist, but it's not over till it's over. This is the More the Merrier limit break, and I think this brings Bradley to Courage. How much damage is this going to do? It is. It's going to bring him to Courage, and he is poisoned. So now the question is, what can he do for his big old AoE? Because he's only going to get one more turn to act. You have to make it count here, Bradley. 25 AP, Calculated Rend hits all three, but it's not nearly enough damage for those two win units. He's going to tick to death from this poison. That poison ended up being huge, and Helena does not have any sort of full life here. You have to imagine this is over in Unhindered's favor, as there is still a re-raise for More the Merrier. Joom is just going to standard attack. The counter thrust comes out, but unless Elda Leonis has way more damage than I anticipate, which he clearly does not, I think More the Merrier is probably going to clean this up. Meridian Channel with 6388 is enough to take out Mama Leonis. This is now down to a 2v1. And it looks like Unhindered is igniting the storm and winning the series in game 3 here, as Joom with 33 AP should be able to get something done. Going to drop that unit attack resist. More the Merrier should be able to clean this up. She's just going to standard attack him, basically punch him right in the face. And that is a 3-game series victory for Unhindered and Ignite the Storm. Final series of the Heindler division. We've got Spike's Bebop's crew on the right side of the map versus Maverick's Spaghetti Western on the left, and it looks like the El Clasico Skahal and Resnick combination. This combo is absolutely lethal just as 2 units, and then there's a Zazan as a damage dealer to boot. The Greater Chi barrier coming out from Garvel, though, as this dark double magic duo coming out from Spike's Bebop's crew. I won't say that 5 times fast, as the Tenable Bros limit break instantly deletes Resnick. So if you thought she was going to be sitting back healing Skahal this whole time, you thought wrong, as Thundergo Disposer is going to come out. Only 2100 damage on the Black Rose Helena. If I saw that right, I don't think she had elemental resistance dropped. So an elemental debuff resistance somewhere in there, and also her AoE resist when she is high on health coming in clutch there. And that is why she tanked that up so well. That was actually astounding. Concentrated Chi Lancer coming out from Garvel here, as Black Rose Helena is up to bat, and she should be able to find a kill onto the Zazan. I take that back. Black Rose's Hex goes into Skahal, dealing a good chunk of damage. Zazan starts the fight with Hate down, so it goes into him instead. Flare is going to break this barrier onto the Garvel, though. It's going to easily one-shot, and this is the battle of the Black Mages here. Helena versus Skahal. Back in the day, I would have said this edge goes to Helena, but these days, I'm not entirely sure. Kira comes out from Murmur, though, and there was no re-raise on Skahal, but Darkblade coming out from Helena means she doesn't target the Skahal, and here he comes. Is he able to find a double kill, or at least a single kill? Here comes the Thunderga. This time it's doing way more damage than last time. It drops the lightning resist, and the AoE resist is not as high as before. This is a heal coming up from Murmur. Does he have the damage to kill her? There's the elemental disadvantage, but this could be a flare. It is just that. Does this kill on this turn? 49-26. It does not. Murmur is next. Does she heal, though, instead of doing damage? We have to find out. She's going to finish her channel. It's a Cura. Murmur, you got to attack him. You have to go on the offense. You're going to sit back and lose the fight if you don't do this. Thunder happens, though. Holy crap, he is out of AP. If she heals, she might actually still win this. He's out of AP right now. No, she fast casts. She hastes herself instead, and he's going to Toad. He Toads the Murmur. You've got to be kidding me. This Toad goes for only 132 damage. Murmur, you had this in the bag. All you had to do was attack, and Skahal is going to thunder her. She's going to die. And that is how Maverick and the Spaghetti Western win game 1. You have got to be kidding me. Guys, I said it before, Season 3, Week 5 is just built different. That Game 1 was absolute insanity, but what are the changes going here? It's still the double Dark Magic squad along with the Murmur, and on the other side, getting rid of Resnick and running Fwendship, I have to give the advantage to Maverick here. Resnick literally did nothing last fight, and he still won it. Fwendship is an insane magic tank. This is going to be hard to overcome, but Shadow Flare deals 1 damage because Fwendship does not have any magic attack penetration in her kit, and Murmur has Nullify magic resistance, so it does nothing, but it does drop the AoE resist, which is something. The zombie TMR onto Skahal, though, as Killer Cross dropping the human resist, does so much damage to Murmur. She is going to basically heal back to full with Knight's Blessing, though. They both have now 3-hit barriers. Spirit Blaster does a good chunk to Zazan, but does not do a whole lot to the Fwendship. But here comes Black Rose Helena with the Tenable Rose, going to drop the Dark Resist. How much damage is this going to do? She's got much better penetrations. 3,300 is not too bad, but Fwendship is just a beast versus magic. And with the Knight's Blessing tech coming out, she is going to be so hard to get through. And here comes the nuke from the backline. Thunderga coming off from Skahal. Only 1,400 onto the Black Rose Helena. Again, not dropping the elemental resist. So something in the kit there really helping out. As Chi Shot from Garvel does about 4k onto the Fwendship. Black Rose Helena is now her turn. Can she find an AoE onto Skahal? If she can, this could be big. Magic Reflex is always in play. Blizziga Blade does not do enough to kill the Garvel, and he has Reflex in his kit as well, but no, it's just a Devastation. Not able to find the AoE. Not sure if it's the height range issue or maybe the tree in the way. Something has got to give, though, as here comes Skahal, going to find a Thunder onto the Garvel for 10k. It is a 3v2 in Maverick's favor. Zazan with only 11 AP is not going to do a whole lot of damage. Just going to find Helena a little bit of chip there. Fwendship is going to do Spell Veil Blade, but this is the big turn, guys. Again, can Black Rose Helena find an AoE? No, she can't. It's just Dark Blade, and here comes Skahal. He is inevitable, and I think we both know. And I say both, I mean me and the audience. Apparently the audience is only one person, but here comes the Thunderga. I was going to say we both know what the heck is about to happen. We apparently don't, because the magic reflex comes through from Murmur. She knocks off the re-raise. If Fwendship can't heal... Hold on a second. What is Fwendship going for? If she goes for full life and whiffs, this might not be over. But this flare is going to come through. I think this is going to end things. How much magic attack pennant does he have? Not enough to find the kill. But here's the full life. Does it land? It does not. Zazan is not typically run with 97 Faith. Here comes Fwendship, though. Spell Veil Blade is going to end it. I thought for a brief second there might be a little hope for Spike, but there is none. GG's. Congratulations to Maverick and the Spaghetti Western. 5 weeks over and done with, guys, and this is how the Heindler division shakes out. First of all, way out in first place, 5 points ahead is JB79, coach of the Paranoid Androids. He's kind of running away with it here. 4 weeks left to go, though. Will he be able to keep that #1 spot? My money would say yes, but we'll have to find out. Will anybody be able to take him down a peg, or does he go undefeated? There's still 4 weeks left, so it's going to be tough to do, but if anybody can, it would be him. Turambar, coach of the Fire Ferrets, with 10 points, losing in a best of 3 against Dezaire of Team Big Mouth, makes the standings very, very interesting here, as there's now a 3-way tie for second. So Turambar of the Fire Ferrets, Maverick of Spaghetti Western, and Unhindered of Ignite the Storm. Obviously, Turambar and Maverick with a much better plus or minus tiebreaker, but it is just that. It's just a tiebreaker. The points are what really matters. Unhindered has played Turambar and lost, but he has not played Maverick. That is actually happening next week, which should make these standings very, very interesting. CrimsonLyse of the Triumphant Trailblazers in 5th place with 9. Has the... actually goes against Spike of Bebop's crew, I believe, next week. So this is another juicy matchup to watch. So these two teams play, and these two teams play. It could get really, really crazy really fast. 7, LucianRamz of Lone Shadow with 7, Colgate Fwendship of 7. LucianRamz actually has this head-to-head tiebreaker, so that is how they are falling into place there. Error 404 of Ashes to Crashes and Dezaire of Team Big Mouth are in a perfect tie right now. Looking at the record, obviously Dezaire has a series win, Error does not, but that is where those mitigated losses come in, as each one gives you a point. So 3 mitigated losses is as good as a series win. So these two teams are tied. They are tied in their overall plus or minus. So yeah, honestly, it's looking really, really interesting in the standings here. I have no idea how this is going to go. 5 teams can make the playoffs, but there's so many teams that could make it. 2nd place through 8th are only 3 points apart. You love to see how competitive things are going into week 6, and it's been really exciting. So I hope you guys enjoyed these fights, and we'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.